Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. This is the final episode of the Daily Dope, and it's in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again here in the revised Duct Tape Studios with the final episode of the Daily Dope. This shouldn't come as a shock to some people, especially if you watched earlier this week. We will talk about this in just a moment. But I do want to point out, if this is your first time joining me, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. It is Thanksgiving Eve here in the U.S., so I'm all excited about that, although I'm the guy who's going to do all the cooking tomorrow. That's okay. I don't mind. But if you are also one of our longtime viewers hanging out, thanks for coming back. I haven't scared you away yet. Well, you have must have Constitution scores of 18. Anyway, tonight is Wednesday, November 25th, 2020. This is episode 579 and the final episode of the Daily Dope. So I do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't yet. And if you subscribe, ding that bell, because not only will it let you know when my live streams air here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news, I'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as today's review of Black Sword Hack. I'm not going to give anything away. You got to watch the review. Review's not real long. I think it's about 16 minutes total. So, but you get to see the book too. I do a page through. Anyway, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, because this is a live stream, that means chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat, even when it zips by fairly quickly sometimes. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, Flaming Huron was first out the gate in chat saying hello. Yes, Flaming Huron's one of our moderators. Most appreciative of Flaming Huron's flexing of the muscles around here, making sure he doesn't drop the ban hammer on people. Ibram is in chat. Ibram popped in on last night's show just as I was wrapping up, so it was kind of odd. I would have said hello, but it'd been weird saying, "Oh, hi, Ibram. Good night, everybody." So there you go. Beat Cafe has joined us. Good to see you again, Beat Cafe. And, of course, Double K herself, Kabuki Kid, is in chat with us. All right, so we're going to get into a few things tonight. I got a nice mix of news that I'm going to share. A couple of oddball things to talk about, which I will talk about one after the news. But the first one I'm going to share with you, I want to share something that arrived in the mail today. So I got a couple of items in the mail. So one of them is the new Monsters book from Kwood Publishing. It is Monsters of the City. Is it Sins and Virtues or Virtues and Sins? Sins and Virtues. So this is their latest. This was a successful Kickstarter. I enjoyed the first two books. In fact, you can kind of see them over my shoulder catching the glare So I know some people out there have been like, oh, I recognize the Forbidden Lands box. Even though there's bokeh, right? It's not in focus. Those two books that are giving off all the glare back there, those are the Kaywood Publishing. Because as you can see, it's got a lot of sheen to the cover. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. But this isn't the weird thing that showed up. The odd thing that showed up were these Pop-Tarts. They came from Wizards of the Coast. It's not easy to see the artwork, but it is Tasha's Cauldron of Everything Pop-Tarts. Yes, they are Goodberry Pop-Tarts. So I open up this box. I open up a box that shows up, and it's just, and I'm thinking, Wizards of the Coast, what are they sending me? There isn't anything. I mean, they didn't send the D&D board game, which is okay because I didn't look super exciting. I'm like, so is this because like during the holidays, they usually will send out little thank you packages to reviewers and stuff like that. I thought, oh, maybe it's my holiday package. Because if I remember correctly, they'd already asked for me to once again send them my t-shirt size. So, because usually it's a t-shirt that we get, and there's other goodies. I'll show it off if it comes, I'm saying, oh, I'll show it off and watch. They don't send me anything. They'll be like, yeah, up yours, Jeff. We didn't like how you talked smack about Rain of the Frost Maiden, all right? So you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing for the holidays. So anyway, so I get these Pop-Tarts and a feather. I'm like, first they take the feather out. I'm like, what is this doing in the box? Like, what the? So on the back, it tells you the ingredients to cast Tasha's hysterical laughter, right? Oh, hideous laughter. And it is a Pop-Tart and a feather that I'm supposed to wave around. I don't hear any hideous laughter, though. So it's like, what the? And unfortunately, and this came UPS. That was the weirdest thing. UPS must have drop kicked that box all over the place because those Pop-Tarts, I opened one up to check them out, and they're like dust. I mean, they are like pulverized. So Kevin R. Smith and Zachary have joined us in chat. Welcome aboard. So Zachary says, I hope those Pop-Tarts are good. Got to be honest, I ate it, and to me, it tastes like just about any other berry Pop-Tart. I don't eat a lot of Pop-Tarts. If I get Pop-Tarts, I usually get the brown sugar Pop-Tart. I think it's what, brown sugar and cinnamon or something like that. That's usually the one I get. So Kevin R. Smith says, it probably makes people laugh, but I don't think magic has anything to do with it. So I thought that was very bizarre that showed up. Anyway, once again, don't forget, check out my review. I'm really trying to get more role-playing game stuff out there in front of you guys. So Ibram says they don't think they've had a Pop-Tart in 20 years. Wow, it's been more recent than that for me, like a few hours. But before that, I don't know, it was probably 3-4 years, something like that. So, other item, as I mentioned in the open of the show, this is the final episode of the Daily Dope. Because as of Monday, the name of the stream is changing. So, I know some people were like, "Oh, well, so you're done? You're not going to stream anymore?" Oh yeah, I am. I'm still going to stream. It's just I'm changing the name up because I think, and we've talked about it a few times now. We don't need to go into it again, but I think the title of the stream throws some people off. They're like, "What what is that? What? Especially like when I pop out like a tweet and I'll say, on tonight's episode of the Daily Dope, I have news from blah, 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 blah. You would think that would kind of explain it to people, but I guess not. So we also have Disavowed 92 and Craig Martin have joined us in chat. Welcome aboard on this Thanksgiving Eve. So as of Monday, the show is going to be titled The Gaming Gang Dispatch, or TGG Dispatch for short, or The Dispatch. So I am bouncing around different thumbnails for it because I'm still going to have same kind of open. Open's going to be about the same. So graphically, this is kind of what the thumbnail will probably look like. Now, where my noggin is right now is where I actually have the episode number and the date. So I don't know. And it's actually cut off a little bit. Those circles are actually not being cut off in it. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking it might look like. I don't know. Because I don't know, the screenshot of my mug is, I don't know. But the thing is, if I use the thumbnails like I do now, it's usually just a picture of me, and I have a couple of circles with images from the games we're talking about, and then another circle that shows the Daily Dope logoing. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not good at any of these graphic ideas. Just not. Then again, I don't want to do thumbnails that look like everybody else's thumbnails. It's like, oh, for crying out loud. That one font people use for the D&D stuff is like, how can you tell anybody's content apart? Just really can't. All right. Anyway, so as of Monday, so episode 580 is going to be The Dispatch. So I'm not changing on my numbering system either, as I keep joking around. This is not Marvel Comics here. Nuts. Not going to be sitting here and be like, oh yeah, it's episode 1. It's been a couple of months since we had an episode 1. Let's do an episode 1. All right. Anyway, let's get on into the news because I've got quite a bit tonight. Because now available from Devir Games, or Devir Games, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, is the Red Cathedral. And I've got the dope. Autumn is not the best time to climb up on a scaffold in Moscow, but it is still far better than doing so in the winter. Tsar Ivan wants to see results, and our team will prove to him that we are the best builders in the city. We are sure to finish off those decorative arches with the brightest shining stones and ensure our place on the list of the government's trusted workers. Sheila Santos and Israel Sandrero? I don't know. I think Devir Games is I think it's a Spanish company, to be honest. Anyway, Sheila and Israel make up the game designing duo known as Llama Dice. To date, they put out various titles with different Spanish publishers. And the Red Cathedral is the first game they have published with Devir. Devir? I think it's Devir. Let's say Devir. Pedro Soto and Chimo Rahman took care of the graphic elements of the game with a grand homage to Ivan Bilibin, an iconic Russian artist from the turn of the 20th century. Despite being from a far later period, his mark is very recognizable in this game. The Red Cathedral is a strategic Euro board game in which the players take the roles of construction teams. Their job is to work together to put up St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow. I did not realize that Basil Fawlty was sainted. That's pretty amazing. As ordered by Ivan the Terrible. However, only one of them will be able to gain the favor of the Tsar. The Red Cathedral is a very accessible game with regards to its rules because it is very easy to understand the various levels of the game, but it remains very interesting with regard to strategy. It's sure to please those who are more interested in the challenge offered by trying to strategically optimize their position in each game rather than the complexity of the rules. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 80 minutes. Does carry an MSRP of $34.99. Because this is around right now, it's out in stores. Very cool, very nice. Very nice. I like the art style. I like the art style a lot. It does look kind of abstract, though. I don't know if it's like there's a dice. It looks like there might be a dice placement mechanic to it, a worker placement mechanic. So could be kind of different, kind of unusual. So could be kind of interesting as well. All right. So Doug Roberts has popped in to chat. So Craig Martin's asked how my brother's in-laws are doing. So actually, that's kind of interesting because I just got an update today. And my sister-in-law's dad is out of the hospital. He's still really, really weak. Her mom is still sick. Her sister's got COVID. Her brother's got COVID. Her nephew's got COVID. And I think her nephew's wife has COVID. So, but thankfully at this moment right now, as far as I understand, no one is in the hospital. So fingers crossed. So Kevin says, didn't Marvel sometimes change a book's name, but keep the numbering back in the day, like Tales of Suspense becoming Captain America and something else becoming the Incredible Hulk? Yes, Kevin, you are correct. That is what Marvel used to do. And the reason behind that is, I might as well just jump back over here. The reason why is because DC actually owned the company that distributed Marvel Comics and would only allow Marvel so many issues every month that they could publish. So they had to plug things in. And then I think the numbering aspect of it was because of postal rates for some strange reason, I think. It was very, very bizarre. Anyway, all right. So let's jump back in because my next news piece is pretty interesting because next month is supposed to see the release of a revised deluxe edition of the horror fantasy game Perditions Mouth, Abyssal Rift from Dragon Dawn Productions. Here's the dope. Perditions Mouth, Abyssal Rift is a new kind of dungeon crawl, one that embraces the European school of game design with clever and elegant mechanics and emphasizes strategy while minimizing luck. Cooperation, planning, and the enemy response deck eliminate the need for chucking dice. Hey, some of us like chucking dice. Creating a tense combat environment with meaningful decisions. The rondels provide another tactical layer, including the enemy's devious and challenging AI. The rules allow you to learn to play in 15 minutes, with the typical game round lasting less than 10 minutes, even with up to 6 players. But deep strategic cooperation will be required for your band of heroes to make it through to the Abyssal Rift and maybe even come out alive. Perditions Mouth is designed to be played as a story-supported campaign over several gaming sessions. In the campaign, you'll have to fight through at least 6 increasingly challenging scenarios, and the level of success during each adventure has a direct effect on the rest of the story. Can you survive the labyrinth of the insectoid god? Probably not. I'm going to share the Kickstarter video with you. I do want to mention, like, the first minute of it is kind of talking head, but you will actually get to see a lot of the game. And unfortunately, a lot of the images for this game are from just private individuals that they've posted up on Board Game Geek. So I do want to share this because this does look kind of cool. So let's take a peek.
Can't let the cult win. Dragon Dome Productions. Olathapal speaking. How may I help you?
Hey there. I just played Perditions Mouth Abyssal Rift for the first time. My friend got it from Kickstarter last year, and I don't know how I missed the campaign, but the game was awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Well, listen, the reason I called you is because I really have to get a copy of Perditions Mouth. I tried to find it, but everyone was sold out.
Yes, that is a problem we have run into. Nevertheless, the first print run did sell out. And we would like more gamers to be able to play. And if we get enough support, we can even add more to the core box experience. Help us make the revised edition of Perditions Mouth a reality.
The game is for 1 to 6 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 30 minutes to 3 hours, depending on scenario, no doubt, and player count. It will carry an MSRP of $129 when it arrives next month. So this was successfully kickstarted, obviously enough, and I think it's taken a while for them to fulfill this. So, yikes. But as far as I understand, the distributors are indicating that this is supposed to be out next month. So it could be kind of cool. Could be pretty interesting. The minis look pretty nice, gotta say. So we'll find out. The whole Euro game aspect of it is what kind of piques my interest a little bit. I'd be curious, because you're not chucking dice. It says you're not going to be tossing dice around, or as Kabuki Kid has pointed out, those Caltrop like D4s. Yes, I have stepped at a D4. I think it was worse than stepping on Legos. So anyway, so this comes out in December. So it's Wednesday, and I always like to at least include one news piece about a war game on Wednesdays. So there are some new P500 releases that are up on GMT Games website that are looking for pre-orders. I've got the dope on Wolfpack. Wolfpack is a tactical historical game depicting the struggles between the German submarine Wolfpacks and the Allied merchant convoys of World War II. Wolfpack is set in the vast North Atlantic from late 1941 to early 1943. Wolfpack is a 1 to 4 player solitaire / team game, because it couldn't be solitaire if you got 4 players. When playing solo, the player will command 2 to 4 submarines. In a team game, players will command 1 or 2 submarines, depending on the number of players. The convoy merchant ships and escorts are controlled by an AI system. In Wolfpack, players will assume the role of a German World War II submarine commander. Players will need to work together to achieve victory. In a game of Wolfpack, players will start by approaching the Allied merchant ship convoy while trying to make it through the escort screen undetected. If successful, your submarine will make an attack run on the convoy. As the commander, you will make many decisions like maneuvering your submarine to the best firing angle while making torpedo data computer calculations for each of your torpedoes, trying to achieve your best shot. You'll issue orders to your crew to deal with any damage that your submarine may have sustained. Should we run silent, Do we press the attack? The decisions are up to you. Do all of this while trying to sink as much Allied merchant ship tonnage as possible and avoid being detected and sent to the bottom by the Allied escort ships. Wolfpack uses a unique card system to resolve many of the game effects. The heart of Wolfpack is its campaign system. Players will track the progress of their crews during the campaign, linking multiple patrols together to gain as much experience as possible. The more tons of Allied merchant ships that you sink, the more experience points that you will have to spend on improvements to your crew's performance. Warlock, as mentioned before, Wolfpack. My gosh, Jeff, what the heck? I typed it in wrong. Like, what am I thinking? Wolfpack is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Obviously, enough variable game times, depending on number of players, scenario you're playing, so on and so forth. There are over 250 orders that have already been placed. You can reserve a copy of the game for $52. The expected MSRP will be $72. So it is about a third of the way, because as we've talked about before, even though it's called the P500, usually GMT wants more than 500 orders on that. It's usually like 800 is kind of like their sweet spot they look for. But I think this is brand new to the P500. I think this is very, very new to it. Kabuki Kid points out that they want the new Space Empires expansion that's up on the P500. Yes, I'm going to talk about that on Monday's show, because that is supposed to be the final expansion. In fact, I think it's called All Good Things. It's going to be the final expansion to Space Empires. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm kind of curious if I remember correctly, I thought the Hunters series had left GMT, because I know there was a new release in the Hunters line that was going to be released. For some reason, I want to say it's Compass. I think it might be through Compass Games. So I thought the entire Hunters series was leaving GMT. So I'm kind of curious if they're looking to kind of replace their, World War II submarining gaming out there with Wolfpack, because in some respects it does look, especially with like right here where we're looking at kind of the breakdown of the sub, kind of has a little bit of the Hunters feel to it. So I don't know. I have no idea, but I like solitaire submarine games. I am a fan, I must say. All right. So, Doug Roberts. Hey, welcome aboard, Doug. Says that this sounds like his kind of game. Kabuki Kid says that they purchased Silent Victory from this series. I know there are some people out there who don't like the Hunter series. They feel that it's not, historically crunchy enough. For me, I think it's fine. I liked it. I mean, I've done some reviews on a few of the titles in the series. So Kabuki Kid is asking if I have played Dune Imperium yet. Yes, I have. I'm going to leave it at that until the review comes up. I think, if I remember correctly, aren't they taking pre-orders until, I think the 30th, November 30th is the final day for pre-orders for Dune Imperium from, you put the pre-order in with Direwolf Digital. But, yeah. So, I will give everybody a hint. I like it. So did the gang. So I want to play it one more time. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Because I always point out, I do my best to do 3 plays of a game before I do my review. Because that way, in case I played something wrong, because I've done that. I have played things completely wrong missed a rule someplace. So stay tuned. I've got it right here, actually. Right here. So like I said, I just want to get one more play in. Anyway, so Kabuki Kid actually had mentioned this in a comment on the unboxing video that it is her most anticipated game of the year. Well. So tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, but it's Thursday. So that also means that we've got some free PC gaming coming from the Epic Game Store. I've got the dope on MudRunner, which is from Saber Interactive and Focus Home Interactive. MudRunner is the ultimate off-road experience, putting the players in the driver's seat and daring them to take charge of incredible all-terrain vehicles, venturing across Siberian landscapes with only a map and compass as guides. Drive 19 powerful all-terrain vehicles, each with its own characteristics and attachable equipment. Complete your objectives and deliveries by enduring perilous conditions across wild, untamed landscapes in extreme conditions with dynamic day-night cycles. Explore an immersive sandbox environment enhanced by improved graphics. Overcome muddy terrain, raging rivers, and other obstacles that are all realistically reacting to the weight and movement of your vehicle, powered by the game's advanced physics engine. With your map, compass, winch, and your driving skills as allies, go solo or join up to 3 others in the co-op multiplayer. It's the ultimate off-road experience. A wider selection of 19 incredible all-terrain vehicles are included. You can explore immense, untamed Siberian sandbox environments. This does have overhauled graphics and advanced physics for extreme realism. And you'll complete perilous objectives and deliveries in extreme conditions while playing solo or in multiplayer co-op with up to 3 of your friends. So I do have the original launch video, because I think this game's about 3 years old. I have the launch video, but I already double checked. If I play the sound, it's going to flag me for copyright violation. So I am going to share the launch video so you can look to see what this game actually looks like. But there is no sound, just so you know. And of course, there's always somebody who pops into the show whenever I'm playing a video that I've had to eliminate the music for. And they're like, is there no sound? What's going on with it? Is there no sound? Something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Just no volume on this video. So let's kick back and take a peek. MudRunner is absolutely free over on the Epic Game Store starting tomorrow. It's usually about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time when it pops up. So compute that to your time. I would say Flaming Huron, that means it's like Saturday, I think, for you. Wow, there was no audio in the video for Flaming Huron? Holy cow. You better check out your device, because I was actually fighting to keep the volume from just blowing speakers out on that video. This does look kind of cool. I do understand that there's a new game they released. It's Snow Runner. So, and it's supposed to be really, really good. I believe it's supposed to blow the doors off of this one. But then again, as I've mentioned before, I always go look at Steam to see what people are saying about the free game over on Epic. Because, I guess supposedly Epic's going to have reviews one of these years. But I'm like, so let's see. Have to find out. But yeah, could be kind of cool. I think it's pretty wild. Like, oops, I screwed up and now I'm tumbling down to the bottom of the ravine. So Flaming Heron says, no, it's tomorrow. So it's Friday. So, when that will be available. Gotcha. All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news because there is a piping hot new bundle of holding that's arrived. I've got the dope on the Indie Cornucopia 8 Adventura. In time for the American Thanksgiving holiday, we present this Indie Cornucopia 8, our 8th annual collection of top-quality, small-press tabletop role-playing games. For just $12.95, you get all 5 complete games in the starter collection with a retail value of $48 as DRM-free PDFs, including Brindlewood Bay from the Gauntlet. In their cozy small town, elderly investigators in the Murder Mavens Mystery Book Club solve crimes and then uncover a dark cult. There's Upwind from Biohazard Games. Miyazaki meets Treasure Planet in this visionary zero-gravity sky setting by the designer of Blue Planet. Includes the Upwind Nights deck. There's Miserable Secrets, which is fantasy heartbreaker. Rose Bailey's blood-soaked gothic noir extravaganza of intrigue, detection, and vamp staking inspired by Castlevania, which includes the Omen deck. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $25.54, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 4 more RPGs worth an additional $74. There's Glitch, 0th edition. Jenna Katerin Moran returns with this 0 edition follow-up that casts you as Excrucians, the world-killing void gods of Nobilis. It's okay, you're retired now and you solve mysteries. Now, keep in mind, this is the 0th edition of Glitch. It's the one that was made available to Kickstarter backers. This is not the Glitch First Edition, which has also come out, and I'm going to talk about as well. There's Flying Circus from Newsstand Press, the Apocalypse Engine bestseller of World War I dogfighting in a Studio Ghibli-esque aviation fantasy setting. There's Flotsam, Adrift Among the Stars from Black Armada, outcasts, misfits, and renegades living in the belly of an enormous space station by Joshua Fox. And then there is the award-nominated 1,000-Year-Old Vampire from Tim Hutchings, this acclaimed solitaire lonely game of endless transformations, agonizing decisions, and loss across the centuries of your vampire's existence. These savings in this bundle are going to run through December 14th. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this offer's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. Cool. So Tom M has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Tom. Oh, hey, it's Tom from, gosh, now I gotta remember the name of the company. It's from the Elephant and Macabre banner role-playing game. I think. I'm pretty sure. So Tom mentions that they've played Brindlewood Bay, which is designed by Jason, and I can't remember the last name, who is one of the hosts of Fear of a Black Dragon, which I've talked about in the past. I tend to listen to that podcast. It's one of the few gaming podcast that I actually listen to. So Tom says they played a couple of times at their weekly RPG meetup and people love it. Yeah, it's supposed to be along the lines of like Murder, She Wrote meets The Golden Girls meets Cthulhu, as far as I understand. Yes, can't you see it? I'm picturing B. Arthur confronting like a deep one. That'd be pretty funny. Kabuki Kid is talking about Porco Rosso, Studio Ghibli. I don't really think Flying Circus is Ghibli-esque in that respect. So, don't know. Interestingly enough, Studio Ghibli always had, I think they still do, even though Miyazaki, I don't know, is he retired? I think he's retired. Then he came back, but I think he's retired again. Always had, in almost all of their films, some sort of aviation angle to it. Interesting. So, my final news piece, we were just talking about Glitch. So, Glitch, A Story of the Knot, the full release has arrived. It's in PDF. It is from author Jenna Morin. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that relatively correctly. I do have the dope. Glitch is the first modern installment in a long-running series of games, starting with the role-playing game Nobilis, for people who like recreational philosophy and metaphysics and thinking about how their fundamental experience of the world works. Strap yourself in. These are games built from the ground up to take thought experiments and goofy arguments and self-expression on the core of one's meaning and identity and blend them in seamlessly with the banter, conflict, exploration, and in this case, mystery solving that you'll find in a tabletop role-playing game. Sound interesting? So this particular game is a game about living in a broken world. It's a game about hope and struggle. It's a game about people who found mistakes in the way the world's put together, seeing that the world itself is wrong, and therefore, of course, developed eldritch powers, gotten inducted into a mystical society, acquired a passel of enemies, frenemies, and dubious allies, and picked up a tragic backstory. Oh, and just possibly a horse. And or a crown? Anyway, though, the most important thing they got, the most key and the most critical, was the power to fight back, the power to make answer to this veil of suffering, this vast great hill of woe, literal or metaphorical world-slaying weapon just tossed into their hand. Only, the problem is, and they all do eventually figure this out, at least the player characters do, world-slaying weaponry doesn't actually help. Fixing things with a world-ending weapon, well, that'd be like blowing your nose with a trout. So if you're more interested in finding hope and solving mysteries than in blowing your nose with, well, any kind of fish, really, just stick this game in your cart and pick it up. The 422-page PDF, yes, you heard me right, 422 pages. For Glitch, this is first edition, this is the full edition, is available from DriveThruRPG for $32.95. I believe this is going to be available soon in a print edition as well. And the 0th edition, I believe, is only going to be available, and it's, like I said, we were just talking about the bundle of holding. I think it's only going to be available until the physical book for Glitch arrives, and then that's it. It will not be available anywhere else again. I gotta say, this sounds different. Certainly does sound different. I'm not shaking around Pop-Tarts and feathers in the game, I don't think. So I did want to share this because I have heard good things about Nobilis or Nobilis. And I did also want to share the WordPress website. This is the website you can go. This is the author's website. Of course, it is Drive-Thru RPG where you get the PDF. And whenever I talk about any of the One Bookshelf sites, always keep in mind the Gaming Gang and thus the soon-to-be Dispatch are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads, and that way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep the gaming gang around. Nice. So there is the news. Kabuki Kid says that she remembered Miyazaki retiring, then unretiring, and would not be shocked if he retired again. I thought he did. Because here's the odd thing, and I am not like an expert on anime by any stretch of the imagination. I believe Miyazaki's son has actually left Studio Ghibli. I think he's working for a different anime studio. And I think part of it was that Studio Ghibli, at least Miyazaki, was not too keen on CGI and did not like having CGI in any films. So I don't know. I have no idea. So Kevin R. Smith is rocking out. Good to see you, Kevin. Thank you very much. Have a great holiday if you happen to live in the, in the States. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. All right, so let's talk about what has arrived. So I already talked about how the Monsters of the City has arrived. So if you were watching last night's show, I got my package finally, which for a while it looked like it was lost by the post office. Got my package from 9th Level Games. So it included Business Wizards and the Excellence, as well as Mazes. And it's the 4 digest-sized kind of zine. They're digest-sized books. So we've got Swords, Sorcery, Maze, which last night I said I thought Maze was the book that had kind of like the core rules. It's not. It's actually Swords really has core rules. Maze is more about the game master, or in this game they call him the MC, the maze controller, which is very odd that they use that term. I understand the MC part, but maze controller is what the dungeon master in Mazes and Monsters was called. And I thought Mazes and Monsters is kind of like forgotten, right? Sort of like, really? Okay. So anyway, so Mazes is kind of like the Game Master book. And then Monster, which of course is Monster book. And then there's 3 little adventures in it. So I've finished reading it already. I started reading this last night. After the show, I was like, I want to check this out. So I should have a review of this up relatively quickly. I will probably try to shoot it this weekend. Who knows? Maybe get that up. Anyway, also have unboxing video for Next War Vietnam, which I think there's quite a few war gamers out there who are releasing their unboxings, their first looks. So I'm going to hold off on this. This was going to be the next video that I released. It's done. It's shot. I'm going to hang on to it. So I think in the meantime, I will be sharing my review of Furnace, which is from Hobby World, as well as the illustrated first volume of At the Mountains of Madness from Free League Publishing. And hopefully my review of Dune Imperium, because I know Kabuki Kid is excited. I know there are a lot of people really, really looking forward to this coming out. And so Kabuki Kid says, never sat through all of Mazes and Monsters. I think it's more the book that pisses people off more than the movie, because that private investigator who wrote the book just pulled stuff out of his ass, stuff that was not true. So Kabuki Kid says, indeed, I'm in. So, all right, that is pretty much it. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the US, and I did want to take a moment to thank everybody out there who visits the Gaming Gang or watches any of my videos. I really, really am thankful for all of you out there. I'm especially thankful for people who hang out and chat with me while I'm doing the live streams, because I swear it would not be too exciting if there was nobody around. I'd feel really weird. I really would. I think I would be more self-conscious if there was nobody in chat than with people in chat. And that might sound kind of odd, but, you know, at least I can goof off a little bit, kind of joke around, and at least I know there are people who are actually kind of watching, you know, as opposed to be like, oh, there's nobody here. So Kabuki Kid says she's thankful I do the show. Well, thank you very much, especially in this time, right? It's just I keep saying it. We are gonna have a dark winter. I swear. I think we are. So anything that gives us just a little bit of joy, or, you know, maybe lets you crack a smile or stop thinking about, you know, the real world for a little bit, comes as a great release, most certainly. Anyway, so everybody out there who is celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you have a great time. Hopefully you're not traveling, maybe, you know, keeping those gatherings small. I mean, I know we're not going to see like my brother and sister-in-law and the kids, or won't see my mom, anything like that. So it is what it is. So, you know, gotta make sacrifices to try to keep everybody healthy. But hopefully all of you out there enjoy your Thanksgivings. Have a very safe, healthy Thanksgiving, and enjoy some good food. So Doug Roberts says, getting his games ready so they've got something to do this winter. Oh yeah, most definitely. That's why I'm talking a lot more about games that have kind of like solitaire aspects to them, games that you could possibly play remotely. I am, during my time off, because you figure I got, what, 5 days? No, 4 days. I got 4 days off. Math is hard. Anyway, I am going to dig into the Foundry virtual tabletop, take a look at that. I am looking at doing kind of an old school Renaissance role-playing game. I want to kit bash some old modules. And one of the reasons I was really excited to take a look at this is because this is a very minimal rule set. And there's stuff that I really do like about this. There's some stuff that I'm like, nah, I disagree with the decision in the game to go, you know, whatever way. And I'll talk about that in the review. So I am looking to try to do something remotely with that and experiment a little bit with Foundry, because the Foundry is supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be very cool. And one of the cool aspects of it is that the players don't have to download a program to play it. They just actually log in on a browser. So something to take a peek at. We'll see what's going on. So the fine folks over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment were kind enough to send me a license for Foundry, as well as the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition releases that have come out for Foundry as well. So I'm going to be playing around with that a bit, as well as shooting some videos. All right, that is it for this time out on the final episode of The Daily Dope. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights here on YouTube. Also tell you when I upload other standalone videos, such as my upcoming review for Mazes. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody here in the U.S., have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Everyone else out there, have a great weekend. I will see you Monday for the premiere of episode 580 of the Gaming Gang Dispatch. And of course, as I wrap up all these videos during this never-ending pandemic, I really do hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.